A lot of us take our citizenship for granted. A 58-year-old woman who's lived in South Dakota virtually her entire life did until recently. A few years ago, she was renewing her driver's license and it was denied. Eva Mott was told something wasn't right with her paperwork. Getting it straightened out hasn't been easy. After years of frustrations, she turned to KELOLAND Investigates to look into the matter. Angela Kennecke picks up the story from there.
Here you go, Gary. What do you want to drink, Gary?
If you've ever eaten at Minerva's in downtown Sioux Falls, you may have had Eva Mott wait on you. Mott's been working the same job for 31 years.
I grew up in Madison, South Dakota, graduated from Madison High School, met my husband at Dakota State College, and moved to Sioux Falls and been here ever since.
Mott and her husband have been married for 35 years, and she has 3 grown children. Like any other American, Mott has a Social Security number. She's paid taxes, voted, and even served on jury duty. That's why one day when she went to renew her South Dakota driver's license, she was startled to hear,
"Well, you're not an American citizen. It shows here that you're a German citizen." I said, "What?" Thought it was a big joke. Really, I did.
Eva was born in Germany. Her father, a U.S. serviceman from South Dakota, was stationed there when he met her mother.
I was born in a German hospital. My mom and dad were not married at the time that I was born. They got married afterwards.
When she was 1, Eva and her mother immigrated to the U.S. This is her entry receipt from 1962. Eva's father joined them back at his South Dakota home after he finished his tour of duty overseas.
My mother was naturalized, and my father was always a citizen. You know, the only time he ever left the United States was to go over and serve in the Army.
Yet Mott was told she would need to go through Homeland Security to apply for citizenship. She filled out all the paperwork and sent in her birth certificate, her mother's passport, her parents' marriage license, as well as her own and her Social Security card.
All had to be originals. Mailed it off, paid the money. Everything costs money every single time you do something. And then nothing.
Her application was denied, saying she did not have proper documentation, and her original documents were never returned.
I just thought everything was going to be okay, and it wasn't.
Just a lot of red flags, just common sense tells you this doesn't seem right.
Lindsay Janklow is the second attorney that Mott has hired to try to find her way out of this mess.
I've been going through this for so long and just kind of hit a brick wall, and I don't know.
Every door just kept getting closed for her. And I can see why she's frustrated. It shouldn't be that difficult for a person who's resided in America their whole life.
So what does the law say regarding a case like Mott's?
The law has actually changed several times throughout the years.
According to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the latest law in effect since 2001 is that a child born outside of the United States automatically becomes a U.S. citizen when all of the following conditions have been met. The child has at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen by birth or through naturalization. The child is under 18 years of age. The child is a lawful permanent resident, and the child is residing in the United States in the legal and physical custody of the U.S. citizen parent.
There's no gray area in my mind. Her dad was a U.S. citizen. Her mother married her father. Her mother became a U.S. citizen, and all of this took place while she lived in the United States and she was under 18.
But when she didn't get her original German birth certificate back from Homeland Security or any of her other documents, none of her attempts to clear up the issue have been successful. And she's walking around with an expired driver's license.
Not being able to get a driver's license. You know, what's going to happen in the future? What about when I want to retire and collect Social Security? Am I going to be able to do that? There's a lot of things that I don't know.
She pays taxes. I mean, she's put her time into the state, into the country. I mean, they should be, she should be their first priority.
Multiple attempts to contact Homeland Security to try to get Mott's papers back have been unsuccessful.
I think they lost my documentation. I really do.
You're telling me it's a bureaucratic mess.
It is a bureaucratic mess, yes.
Mott also attempted to ask South Dakota senators for help. After talking to Mott, KELOLAND Investigates reached out to Senators Thunes and Rounds' offices and were told both were willing to help resolve the issue, but needed more information from Mott. Mott told us she will provide whatever she can for resolution. When Mott tells her story, most people find it unbelievable.
They kind of think it's a joke, actually. It's funny, you know. It's not funny. It's really kind of, it's frustrating, very frustrating.
U.S. Immigration tells me it does not comment on individual cases due to privacy concerns. The South Dakota Department of Public Safety tells me the REAL ID Act brought about stricter requirements for proof of citizenship. And while the state driver licensing program worked to accommodate Mott, she didn't have the correct documentation to get a license. We will continue to follow Mott's story and let you know if she is able to be granted citizenship.